Alright, what up guys? Yes, your boy is back just for this one time. Basically, Black Bean Grocery releasing a full lineup of products this upcoming season. Our intention is to release it this upcoming Monday, 11/11 at 8 a.m. Pacific time. You'll have the details below. But mostly I'm here to showcase one of our particular products because the other ones you guys should be pretty familiar with. They're improvements upon previous formulas, or they're pretty kind of traditional concepts with our take on it. But one of those products, Texture Cream, is a completely new one. We have not done anything like this before. I would not describe it as a pomade, but truly something that is optimal for, my new hairstyle. Other people who have more natural, just textured styles. It's definitely offers something that cannot be achieved with pomade, which is why we kind of redirected onto this path to create this product right here. But real quick, thank you for those of you who are still around. Thank you to Harrison for keeping the Pomp going, and thank you for keeping this community strong, because it was definitely, as I said before, like a year ago now, it was my time to kind of step out and let someone else take over and focus on kind of the next step. And essentially this is a good mark for the next step. As you guys can see, or have seen before, this is where my hair is now, and this is exactly why we need this product, because this is how it looks like after it's dry. So what we go for, as you can see, high fade, basically undercut, crop, basically short crop. Hair on top is about an inch or so. And there's a lot more going on here, and maybe I will make another, maybe I'll make another video describing this hairstyle and how I have achieved this and gotten here, and what I do on a day-to-day basis. But we'll do that in another video. This is what it is, and this is not how I want it to be. This is not how I need it to be, because yes, this is its natural state, but it's just way too messy. And what this product helps us do is get a more controlled, natural, textured look. Because even if you describe this as a messy look, an aesthetic messy look is always intentional. It's always very controlled. It's rarely is it ever you actually wake up and it ends up where you really want it. And so what this serves to do is kind of, not only, yes, there's a conditioning effect, there's a moisturizing effect to help it stay nice, but there is a balance between a stickiness and a texturedness, such that the hairs, they group together and they overlay and they shift a bit, but they stay relatively in place the entire day without any sort of hardening or stiff effect. And unlike other products that are moisturizing or very light balms, we tried some very fancy stuff over the past year to develop this, like Aesop's hairstyling treatment and other fancy things, but they didn't have the staying power that we needed. And we're not asking for much staying power, because with many of those products you get a good style, but at the end of the day it looks like it just reverts back to this. And so it's very simple. This is literally like a lotion consistency, very easy to scoop out and then smears in the hand. And so the way I'm gonna approach it is that I'm gonna cover the top and then work it in, and then basically it's all hand styling, getting the hairs to sit over one another, and then just achieving that style. It's very straightforward. When I was formulating this with Eric Dale over at Arcadian, I definitely gave him my ass. We worked through the concept, the theory of what we wanted to achieve, and it ended up just being far better than anything we could have expected. And so what you can see I'm doing is that making sure that all those stray hairs that were sticking up, I do want to tame those down, and I want to keep them together. And what I'm concerned the most about are the sides. And so I'm going to work them in and over one another, and then come down to get it controlled and down into a more aesthetic manner. And so depending on how you prefer it, but this is essentially how I describe my current hairstyle, is a more modern grown-up bowl cut. This is my kind of paying homage to the first haircut I ever had. And so what we see now is that you don't see those stray hairs sticking up. They'll stay down, stay grouped together, and this will stay the entire day. I'll come back in a few hours to show that and prove that. But then what we have is a more aesthetic kind of hair textured sitting over the high fade, a little more texture over the top, so you can see, like, essentially it just helps you, instead of having this dried, like, fine texture, you get a more coarse texture, you get a layering effect, and something that is a little more, I don't want to say natural, but a little more controlled and intentional. But it is literally just as simple as that. And yeah, we also have a very natural finish. I considered doing a matte finish, but especially for people with black hair, when you add a matte finish, it just makes your hair look extra dead. And so that's just not what I wanted. I wanted something that looks as though you have nothing in your hair, but gives you the correct texture that you simply can't get naturally, and in a way that actually stays the entire day. But yes, come back in a few hours and just basically show you guys what it's like at the end of the day. So this is what my hair looks like now after about 8 to 9 hours. You can see it still moves in the general direction. It still has some like nice coarse texture to it. And one of the important features is that, well, two things. It's not completely gone. Like, it's not, my hair is not sticking up again. Like with some of the conditioning or styling balms that we've tried, especially like the super high-end ones, which are more like super light conditioning, my hair tends to stick up afterwards. Like, they basically get completely absorbed and my hair just goes back to normal. And so this one's not like that. At the other side, there are other highly conditioned balms, and some of our other samples of when we were formulating this were just a little too like much. Basically, with combination of like the natural hair oils, everything builds up and your hair just gets really, really weighted. And you kind of see it more so in the next morning with some like our other formulations that we kind of tossed away. The hair would really come together and it would just sit down, stuck to the head, and you just couldn't really get it to have a little bit of volume, a little bit of lift anymore. And this is kind of like a balance between the two, and this is kind of exactly what we hope to have achieved with it. And so it's really good for crop cut styles like such as mine, where you just want a little bit of texture. Also with like comb over side parts where you don't want a lot of volume, you just want a natural movement towards the side. This is what I made it for. This is what texture cream is for. But yeah, I mean, this is the intended use. This is the intended results. Just wanted to share that with you all. Like I said, we will be releasing on Monday, 8 a.m. Pacific time on the website. Details in the bottom. If anything changes, I'll let you know. But I mean, it's an upcoming release. And also, as I mentioned before, we have a total of 4 products released this time around. Thanks to all your support and everything, we've been able to now release a full lineup to just provide you with everything. We have an oil base, of course, going back to the roots. We have a revision of the hairdressing cream from last time to like a water-based pomade. Super smooth this time. We improved a lot of aspects of it, and we think you guys will like it a lot. We also are re-releasing the Superior pomade now as Superior Clay. Basically, as you could recall, our first product ever, like a medium hold, very beautiful for a nice textured pomp, good volume, but very natural and coarse textured finish. And lastly, this one. So we believe it's a full range. Basically caters to almost any sort of hairstyle you may have, but we're very proud of it and we're very excited to share it with you all. But of course, let me peace out now. It's good to see you guys, and maybe for one more video, but we'll see.